This is Chris from Mountain View, and we're going to look at how to use Google Slides to create printed material for your students. I have here a notebook that I've created for my students, and one of the first things you need to do is decide what size paper, how you want this to look. I set this up so that I could have a booklet for my students that was 8.5 by 11, done in portrait, that Copy Shop would then print for me and do the staple binding. And that way, instead of it just being stapled up in the corner, the pages don't fall out. It usually, like for me, these last until I get to the end. Now, I don't collect anything that's in it. The students do all of the work in it until the whole thing is done. So the first thing that you need to do is set it up in the page setup and have it be your width by your height. So I only wanted it to be the 8.5 wide by the 11 inches. And you hit apply, but I'll hit cancel because I already have this set up. So then as you're going through, making sure that they have a place for their name because they'll all look the same. But then you can go ahead and use Google Slides and set up everything that you need. And I give my students my LEQs. I give them then the skills that they need to have underneath it. And then for this was a vocabulary. So I set up a table. And by setting up this table, in here, I was able to get the different words, give them meanings of things, and there's a place for student work. And then I have them brainstorming on the back and doing more work. So then all of this prints out. And I will say that this one right now is not set up to have page numbers. And having page numbers, that is a very special thing when you are, so I want to have that on, and I want to apply that. Being able to tell the kids what page to turn to, that is a very wonderful thing to have. So now I have page numbers for next year. So as I'm going through, then I have all of the work that I need. And as I'm printing it out, I gave all of the students instructions where I need them to. You can do great things like have them underline in different colors to have them find text evidence and then write out their answers to things. And then you can go ahead and have these things built in with what you have. And then there's room then where you can give them space. Now, these lines that I have here are just lines, but you could also have a table and just have the borders not on the sides and only on the tops and bottoms, and that would also give you nice evenly spaced lines. But you can use all the different shapes to put in different things and just go through all of the work that you want students to do, and it can all be right there in a single packet for them to have. Now, besides the booklets, another thing that you could do is I just have these 2 pages that are here. I could take those, just have those 2 pages and just have them printed back to front. So if you wanted to have a handout, just do this work this day, you could then have exactly what you want for those students. Using 11 by 17 size. So for this printout in the page setup, I have it 17 inches wide by 11 inches high. And what I've done here is set up everything, and it walks students through, and this is using reciprocal teaching where they're predicting, there's vocabulary for them to clarify. And so in this, I have it set up. So there's the front page. This is the back page, and this is an inside flap. Then when they would open up this 11 by 17, it then has the article down here. It has questions that have to do with the skills that we have. It's having them use text evidence by underlining in colors. And it goes through the entire article. And then in the back, there's quiz questions for them and then running a summary of what they do. So it has all of the different parts. It has predicting. It has clarifying the vocabulary. There's questions. And then a summary at the end for the whole thing. So I've linked this in the slide presentation so that you could then go ahead and just take this outline and use it for any information, any text that you want to. And this could be used for nonfiction or fiction. It works well for both ways. And then when you send it to Copy Shop, you can ask them to do the tri-fold, and so they can even come folded for you so long as the folding machine is working. And you can just hand them out to kids. And this is a great piece of work that they can work on. And another way that you could also differentiate, this was an article from Newsella. I had it in 3 different levels. and was then able, when I printed it, to just minorly change some of the wording of different things. But then the text was at 3 different levels, and I could hand it to kids, and it was differentiated, but done in a way where it wasn't really obvious to them that it wasn't the same, because they were all reading about the same topic.